What's up, everybody? It's your girl Keisha from Put Your Phone Down podcast. I'm not going to hold anybody's time right now. I have a young man on here that I found just kind of Googling through. I have to give a shout out. I'm going to make sure I get the name right. From Quiet as Kept podcast, I saw them interview him about all the things he has going on. He got some seasonings, he got an ebook coming out. This man is all over the place. So I'm so grateful that he got time for me to hop on my podcast. I'm going to say he is celebrity chef, personal chef, this busy man, the owner of Aahhchoo Seasoning. So you got to catch him when you can. Chef Brandon Caine. What's up, Chef?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on your podcast today.
You welcome. We gonna get straight into it. Now, as I was looking around, I saw personal chef, celebrity chef. And I was like, okay, then I seen the ebook and I was like, okay, let me hit him up. But I know it has to be a story about what makes this young Black man hop into culinary school. So where did this love of culinary school come from?
The
Cooking in general.
love of cooking came from my mother. She put me in the kitchen when I was 7, but it was pretty much we grew up as latchkey kids. So she just taught me how to cook for my sisters. So we had this big chalkboard up and she would like, Brand, make spaghetti, make, hamburger helper. So then it just started off cooking all little things. And I was like, oh, I got like good at it. So as I got older, then I got to high school. Then I started going into was like home ec classes that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be cooking, but then they started getting attention to girls. So I'm like, okay, this was like my thing. So once I figured out after high school, I was like, all right, I need to do something. So I was just thinking about jobs and what I like. I'm like, I like cooking. It came easy to me. So I was like, well, let me find a culinary school. And then all of a sudden the Pennsylvania Culinary Institute came up, which they were transitioning to Le Cordon Bleu in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I applied for that. My mom helped me get into there. And then I went to culinary school. And the rest is history now.
So
I've been doing it for 22 years now.
We got to give shout out to where it all began. So Mama put you in the kitchen.
Yeah, Mama put me in the kitchen. Shout out to I got a lot of cousins and sisters, siblings and cousins that had some jacked up meals. We came from starting off, but like now they're like, you came a long way.
So what was your first meal that was like, wait a minute, this gonna get the ladies' attention right here?
Actually, when I was at home ec, I made breakfast. So I made like big old pancakes from scratch, homemade hash browns, sausage. And everybody's like, oh, you can cook. And then fried chicken. That was like when I figured I could know how to fry chicken. And then then I started making like red beans and rice. And then my mom taught me how to make gumbo. Just adding things to my repertoire. But the breakfast and the fried chicken, that was the one that got them.
Yeah, that would get me too. I'm talking about chicken. Let me tell you, everybody who know me, it's like every day. I think I'm an addict. I gotta have it. And the bad thing is
a flats or a drum person.
Yeah, I'm see.
When it comes to wings.
Flats.
Okay.
I'm that, and then I like the breast and the leg. Like that's me. And
okay. So you just like chicken all of.
Yeah, it's bad. I think I need some rehab for it. Like I don't even eat it baked. If it's baked, that's an insult. I need to hear the crunch. But
I hear that.
Yeah, I got to. It's bad. It's bad. So
you ever try oven fried chicken?
Huh?
You ever try oven fried chicken?
No.
So you do it you bread it up the same way, but instead of frying in the grease, you either spray it with like olive oil or avocado oil, some kind of oil, and then bake it in the oven. But it still have the breading on it, but you still get the crisp. But it's not as not all the fat.
Okay, see. Now you gonna have me thinking I'm a little culinary chef. I'm posting pictures of my chicken all sideways and every angle or whatever. So since we talking about food, I want to touch on this just a little bit. And I think I have mentioned this to you. Let's get this on out the way. Nowadays, we're seeing a lot of people who are now like quit their job. This is their full-time job, is to review foods. Some of them are going into restaurants. Some of them are doing it from their cars. This is a plus in some ways because it's making a lot of restaurants step up. And then on the other end, it could be a downfall that one person discusses something about food and everybody takes their opinion, and that might be that person's money. What's your opinion about the food review world nowadays since social media has made it such a thing?
I mean, it's one of the ones is hit or miss, but you can't go based on. I mean, a person can um, bring the attention to it. You can be like, okay, I heard such and such talk about it. Let me go try it out. But you can still have to have your own personal opinion about it. But I mean, it's one of those. It's a situation where restaurants do have to step up their game because some of them get spoiled because it's like, oh, we're the only one that do this, and somebody call them out, then it's like, oh, now, and then more than one person call them out if it brings attention. So it's a good and a bad thing. It just depends on what the blogger is doing it for.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of restaurants get hit, and it just might have been a bad day, like
I mean that too. It's just like you just might have caught us on an off day, but then that just gets the restaurant and everybody, the crew, like we can't have bad days.
yes. Have you ever dived into the restaurant world?
I had a restaurant for probably about 6 months. It was in a bad location, and it was just in a bad location. So it was kind of like nobody was really no foot traffic, and I just made the executive decision just to shut it down before I got too big of a hole. But it was a lesson because it just showed me, a lot of people are like, hey, you gotta, how before you get something and they tell you they'll do it and support it. Then when you get it, it show you who the real ones is and who ain't. But it also showed me how the process of open up a restaurant. So people ask me, I can help them out because maybe that was just my journey to go through, so I can just be a vessel to help people out that can open up them, and it just wasn't my time at that time.
Yeah, I like that you touched on that. The support.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about that for a half a second because that's real in the streets, okay?
Yeah.
So here you are cooking. You done went to culinary school, and I'm sure you didn't have people, oh my God, open up a restaurant. If you had a restaurant, I come all the time.
Yeah.
So you done hyped yourself up, came up with the name to the restaurant. I'm sure you ran into some bad business deals. Can you walk me through that too? Like I know the support was one thing,
Yeah.
but
Well,
when you run into some shisty people, what does that feel like?
It was like, yeah, it was just kind of like, it was kind of like a deal within a deal, and I was going to help somebody out with their business because it was going to be next door to my business, but then they like kind of like backed out of that business and went and did something else. So that's like it was supposed to help my foot traffic at night. And I was going to work on the day business. So, because if they would have stuck to what they said they were going to do, I would have had night like foot traffic at night, which I could have like managed their business and cooked out of mine. It's like it was simultaneous, but it just didn't work out like that. So I just looked at it like they say, God show you if it was meant to happen, it would have happened. And I was upset for a little bit, but then I just looked at the lesson I got out of it and just went from there.
Yeah, God always turns it around. I'm sure that was like a dark period though, but like you said, you learned from that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the seasoning for a second. I forgot the catchphrase. So tell me the catchphrase. It's not seasoning if you're not sneezing. Is that what it is?
It ain't Aahhchoo seasoning. It ain't season if you ain't sneezing.
Okay, so let's talk about these seasonings. The one thing that I heard you talk about on the podcast was that it's geared towards people with high blood pressure and diabetes. That's what caught my attention because, some of us love some seasoning in our food and we don't realize that until our feet get swollen and you can't fit into them shoes no more that you done went a little bit too heavy. So give me the deets on what got you started in this world for Aahhchoo seasoning.
Well, actually, I have a partner. Well, he's like the founder now, but he came to me with the idea about the seasoning and the name. So he came to me about it, about usually like, cause he's like, man, you business savvy, you know how to like, start to finish. So he gave me the idea and then I just kind of ran with it. But a lot of people don't know it's a difference between flavor and seasoning. A lot of especially in our community, people think because it's not seasoned, it's not flavored. So that's where we came up with the concept of the seasoning to have great flavor, which you can add seasoning to it. So it has all the, it's very low sodium. So if you need to add salt to it, you can. But if it's one of the ones, if you're looking for like the flavor, it has it.
So you got you have three out now.
Yeah, three out now.
You got Citrus Bliss, lemon pepper citrus bliss. Then you have your Cajun. And then you have the barbecue rub, Yeehaw rub.
Yep.
So I'm going to go a few steps behind. I know you mentioned, you have a partner with this, the founder. He came to you and was like, what's up? But a lot of people don't really dabble into this field. If they cooking, they might not dabble into this. I think this is a great investment. But can you talk about what the stages are? The stages are that you came up with these seasonings. Who did you talk to? How did you get in contact? All of that.
So he came up with the recipe. So then we kind of made it ourselves. So made it just made a batch ourselves to see yay or nay, and he was like he liked it. So eventually, when you get to the point where you want to kind of sell it in store, retail sell it, you have to find a distributor. So then I found a distributor, which I kind of sent them a sample. They sent me their sample back, and then we kind of met. So because you got to go from if I'm making 5 pounds of it, just selling it here and there, to making 120 pounds, that it's going to be different. The ratios are different because it's being mass produced. So you got to see from you making it yourself to that. So it was just the process of them sending it, their rendition of the recipe, and then we try it and agreeing upon it, and then getting produced like that.
So where did the nerves come from? This is a different space, I would think. Can you walk me through the jitters of knowing that you're about to put yourself out here with a seasoning? I know it had to be scary, or were you just look, we about to do the damn thing with this?
I mean, it was a transition because I'm a behind the scenes kind of person. So it was I was thinking one way, I'm okay, I'm just going to support, and then I'll be just not the face of the season, and then all of a sudden it was nope, you the face of the company. So it was just truly accepting what my role was in the company, and then just reaching out to the people and making connections and meeting people. And I mean, once you, I guess really in life, once you accept what your role is, it make it easier. But as long as you keep fighting with it, that's where you just you kind of get through, because you're no, I don't really want to do it. Like you said, God be no, you gonna do this, and then either you gonna make it easier for you and just accept what you're gonna do, or you just gonna kind of just keep getting your lumps until you be all right, I get it, I'm gonna do right.
That's a word right there. Because it's like you said, you positioned yourself to do the support. But
Yeah,
it was like,
that,
nope.
that wasn't the position for me. So that was a lot of the struggles was just me accepting my position of what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And once I was like, okay, all right, I know what I need. Like, all right, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. Then everything really started flowing.
Are you comfortable yet? Or is it
Not yet.
still?
I don't think I'm getting there, but it's still like okay. I mean, it was like we picked up our first big shipment of the new product with the new labels and everything, and it's like okay, now I'm like, oh, it's real. Like from making it in the garage to like actually having it mass produced. So
Dang, the garage. So we talked about this like doing earlier. You got some places that you got to shout out. So right now, you Houston based,
yeah,
correct? Okay, so shout out to Texas as a whole. Shout out to my family in Texas as well. So we got Houston, but it didn't always start from Houston. Like we mentioned at what you started out
I
in
grew up in
Ohio.
yeah, I grew up in Ohio, so all my people in Akron, Cleveland, and Columbus. Then I, but then the last 14 years I was in Louisiana, so I have
So
my connections. Yeah,
we got Ohio to shout out. We got Louisiana to shout out. And then we have Houston. So basically, you got the southern feel all up and through you. You in the heat, okay? You can keep that. You
right.
can keep that. But all of it kind of goes into this ebook that you have out.
Uh huh.
The southern cuisine going on. Let's talk about this ebook because people, they really want to know how they can support you. I love the cover of it, but let's talk about this ebook that you got out.
So the funny story about the ebook that came based off of my younger sister fussing at me about she would me cooking throughout the years. When my mother was alive, they always ask me for like my mom would always ask me about recipes. But like, mom, you taught me how to cook. Like, why is you asking me? But it was just the whole fact of like she wanted to go like she got a recipe from her son that's a chef. Like my son chef gave me this, so then my sisters would be hey, how you make stuffed bell peppers, or give me this recipe or that. She's like, you know what, you might as well just make a book. And then I was like, all right. And then I thought about it, and then I was like, okay, well, I had a little free time, and so I just started typing up recipes, and then all of a sudden I came up with a little quick. It's probably about it's a 75-page book, so probably got about 30 recipes in it at the moment. But I'm working on expanding it so I can so it can become a hardback. But it just has quick, simple Southern recipes across because it's more South than just Louisiana, Alabama. So it covers pretty much all the different regions in the South because you have the Carolinas, you have Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, some parts in the Midwest, or anything that's below the Mason Dixon line is really considered the South.
So, what's your favorite, if you could say? I'm sure all of them are delicious, but
My favorite is red beans and rice. That's like one of my favorite go-to meals. My daughters love my like when I cook red bean and rice. They always ask me to. That's one thing they always ask me to cook. That was one of my dishes I love when my mom made. So red beans and rice is like one of my favorite dishes to cook.
so one thing I saw, it was like a Q&A, and I think they asked you about like basically your food advice. I think you said basically you can add to but not take away.
Yeah.
So for the people that are in the beginning world who love being in the kitchen, can you give them and myself some advice about, the seasoning, the flavoring, just, how do you know if you got too much? You can't really take it back like you said,
Well,
but
I mean,
me, I'm an over seasoner, I think. So
okay.
what
So
would be your advice?
I would take like first if you like take salt, just take like a pinch of salt, just sprinkle in your mouth, and when it get to the point where you know it's too salty, then when you're cooking, you'll know you'll know that point of the it's too salty because you've tasted something that's like super salt. Like when something is real salty.
Yeah.
I think with just with some people they even before they try something, first thing they do, they hit it with salt. Don't even get a chance to taste, like, see what it is, and then they're like, oh, this is too salty. Well, the chef or whoever prepared it made it, seasoned it well, but because you don't think that everything is salty, or because you are used to that high, that real salty taste, that. So I would just take, for whatever you like, tried, like, just put salt, and then with a point where you think that's too salty, cut that in half when you're cooking.
Okay. I'm gonna try that because I don't know what's been going on with me lately. I just been like having a heavy hand, and I'm like, damn girl, what you trying to do? Take yourself out.
But then also, what you got to there's different types of, like, change your salt. Like, iodized salt tastes different from kosher salt and like Himalayan salt, like those high, like Himalayan salt, kosher salt, black salt, like rock salt. If you use the iodized salt, it's going to give you a different taste from when you use those types of salt.
So is the Himalayan salt better? I've been hearing people say that. Okay.
It is better.
So you got the Himalayan salt. Now, I want to go into all the things that you got coming up, because it's not just the ebook, it's not just the seasoning. You know, you are in a contest now. I think you said you just made top 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So let's talk about this.
It's the favorite chef contest. It goes from now, I think, until July, and each week they like knock down the contestant. So I made it through the top 20. I'm in the top 15 right now. I'm in 7th place. So I can send you the link later, because I don't have the link on me, but I can send you the link. But it's on my Facebook as well, and you can just go in there, vote every day, and then each week, so hopefully by that I make it to the end, and then the winner wins. It's like a spread in Home magazine and $25K.
Okay, we got to get you up there. Like, we got to. So since you talked about your social media platforms, I need to know where people can find you. Let's go ahead and shoot out the handles, the Facebooks, the TikToks, the wherever people can find you.
Okay, on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, you can reach at Aahhchoo Seasoning Company. They all should be the same. Aahhchoo Seasoning Company. You'll see our logo it's usually red or black, and then the letters remind you of the Martin theme, the Martin logo. So but it's Aahhchoo Seasoning Company on all Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. My personal is Chef Brandon on Instagram, and then Brandon the Chef on Facebook.
So y'all can't miss him. Once he hands me the link, you guys, I'm going to definitely put it up there so we can support you. We talked about the book, but we didn't name the drop. I failed to give people the name of the book.
The name of the book is Southern Flavors Unleashed. You can find it on Amazon Kindle. So if you're a Kindle member, you can get it for free. It's only a $5 book. $5 book going to give you a lot of recipes. And when I first created, I didn't have the lemon pepper or the yeehaw rub created yet. So I was trying to introduce recipes with the original Cajun seasoning. So you'll see that throughout the recipe, throughout the book. And I have a couple desserts in there as well. It has some entree salads, appetizers, and desserts through the book. You can get it on Kindle, and then you also can get it to Books to Read. Books to Read is a platform where any platform that you use to get ebooks on, like Apple, all the different platforms. There's so many on there that they cover. You can just get it off of there too. But the book is only $5.
We want to give a shout out to your sister who got on your ass about this, because look, I mean, it's one thing to sit on your talent, but it's an awesome thing when you have a great backup system. A good support team goes a long way. When they see your talents and they won't leave you alone, I mean, that is awesome. So shout out to your sister.
All my sisters, they be on my neck.
Good.
It's like I lost one mama, then got like five mamas between them, and now my lady too. She be on my neck too about everything. So yeah, but my youngest sister, the youngest ones, they always think they the boss of everything.
Yes. But they know what they talking about.
Yeah, they feel like they run it like they be like, well, mom and dad stopped with me, so I must be the greatest one.
I'm the youngest, so I ain't even
So
mad
you
at
already
nobody.
know how it is.
We the bosses. I mean, so you got so many people speaking into you. Tell me what a support system looks like for you. Was it always there, or did you have to lose some friends along the way to really realize what it looks like?
Yeah, I lost some friends, but it was some people. You know how you hold on a little too long. So like now I'm 40 now, so it's just like now I'm getting into that new life because my 30s and my 20s. So all the like how you say I was a young fool, but now I'm not gonna be an old one. So that's just been transition of some friend creating new boundaries with friends, like what friends or they're really acquaintances. Just like kind of just putting people in the places that they really should be. Where in the past I had them somewhere they wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you have to basically, now that you at that space, you got to be careful who you sharing your next moves with,
yeah,
And so it sounds like you got a lot going on. I know we can't talk about everything, but we got the big three. And I think when I saw it, I think it had just been kicking out for like 6 months and you was trying to get it out.
yeah.
How can these people find the seasonings to purchase them, especially if they don't stay in Houston along with you?
You can go to Aahhchoo.com. That's our website. You can order everything's been well, we're still updating things because we just got the new labels, but every the inventory is in. So if you want to place an order, just go to Aahhchoo.com. You also can find it on the TikTok shop because I know a lot of people's on TikTok. So just go in there and just order it. You can also email us at Aahhchoo Seasoning Cup Aahhchoo Seasoning CO@gmail.com or the Chef Brandon at gmail.com. If you have any questions about the seasoning, if you have any questions, reach out and then somebody will get back to you about it.
Okay, this sounds like it. I mean, so people can find you, they can order it. What's the pricing looking like? Is it pretty much affordable?
Yeah, we have three sizes. We have a 7-ounce container, 17-ounce, and a 5-gallon bucket and an 8-gallon container with the lemon pepper. So we can cover if you want a little bit or you want a lot, however you want to. So our price is between $10 to $50, just to depend on the size with shipping and everything.
That's not bad. Do we plan on being in some stores one day, or we just go?
That's the price that working through that now is just the first thing was just trying to get the containers and everything like legit of when you see it, so it look like you can see it on the shelves.
Yeah.
Like from making, when you're making it on your own and then so it was just trying to get everything to look retail quality.
So as we close up this interview, I told you it was gonna go smooth.
Yeah, you said it real quick.
Yeah, I said like I want you to kind of speak to the people about, what would you say to somebody who was in your feet, in your shoes right now, love to cook, has the flair for it, but a little apprehensive? What would be your advice to them?
I mean, you got to go out on faith. If stay in your lane, like be your authentic self, because if it's something that you can do, nobody else can do it. And I mean, pretty much in this day and age, everybody's kind of doing the same thing. But what are you doing? But if you're doing it, you'll find the people that you'll draw the people to you. If you stay consistent, the people will find you. But you can't get out there until you put yourself out there.
And you gotta know what them losses look like too.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you gotta. I mean, losses come along the way, but we don't even consider them losses; just consider them lessons. But those come, and then once you see what those losses and the lessons are, make sure you listen to them so you don't keep repeating them, because you will repeat them until you learn it, till you figure out what it is. But the only thing is you gotta put yourself out there some kind of way. And then once you put yourself out there, and if you're doing it the right way, the right people come. The people that's supposed to come towards you will.
That's true. I agree with that. So it's been a pleasure. I mean, you have such a wonderful life. I'm hearing it and I'm like, man, 30, we couldn't even contain all of that in 30 minutes, but I think you did an excellent job talking about how it started, the bumps and bruises. This is what we go through, but now here it is, the Aahhchoo seasoning,
Yeah.
that's about to take off. You guys, I want you guys to follow and vote for Chef Brandon Caine, who took out time to hop on Put Your Phone Down podcast. We got some more things. I don't think this is the last y'all go see it, Brandon, but we sitting on that. We might have some more things in store. So until then, I want to thank everybody for listening to Put Your Phone Down podcast. I'm available on all platforms. I'm looking for some more special guests. So if you have a story, a testimony like Chef Brandon, hop on, hit me up, put your phone down. What is it? Put your phone down studios at gmail.com. I always tell people I mess up towards the end. I don't know. I always mess up towards the end. I mean, I keep it good until the end, but whatever. I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to say or anything like this before we wrap up?
I thank everybody that's been supporting me so far. I'm thinking the ones that's going to support me when it's coming soon. I thank you for this opportunity, for putting myself and Aahhchoo Seasoning out here. That's about it.
You're welcome. I'm gonna give a shout out, like you said. God bless your mom, but your sisters are basically standing in the gap. Like you said, your lady, she's standing in the gap. Your daughter's standing in the
Yeah.
gap. You got such an awesome support team, and I can't get a shout outs to the sisters enough. Sometimes you can sit on it until you have somebody be like, look, I'm tired of seeing you not be great. So
Yeah.
shout out to your whole family and your support team. And again, thank you for being a part of Put Your Phone Down podcast. Again, y'all haven't seen the ending of Chef Brandon. I will be sharing all of his information on the Put Your Phone Down podcast page, which is on Facebook. Until the meantime, guys, have a great day, and this will be uploaded on all platforms. See ya.
See you later.